on an all-new Dr. Phil.
Is mom jealous
Do you think she really wants to break you guys up?
Yes.
of her daughter's boyfriend?
She tries to badmouth me all the time.
I hate what he's doing to her. He has no job. This is not something any mother wants for their child.
She literally says, I want you to find another man.
I'm trying to make her realize that she's been brainwashed. When you lived in my house, I heard what you said to her.
How'd you hear
I put my ear right to the door.
Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today's going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Thank you very much. Well, think about this. Spending time together, buying flowers, going to dinner and movies, daily visits, and talks with multiple calls and texts. These are things you might do with a spouse. But Stephanie says these are demands her mom, Cheryl, has been putting on her for years. It's so bad that her boyfriend, Michael, says Cheryl isn't a mother, she's a smother. But Cheryl thinks a daughter's loyalty should be to her mother and says since Michael came into the picture, fights have become a daily occurrence. Take a look.
If you did like me, then you wouldn't spend all day telling her how you don't like me.
You're calling him a loser. You're calling him a f***ing lowlife. Be with another guy. Like, you, Mom.
Well, Cheryl thinks Michael is a loser and her daughter is being brainwashed. But Stephanie says if her mother's obsessive, inappropriate behavior and lack of boundaries don't change, their relationship is over.
My mom completely tries to run my life. She doesn't care about me being in relationships that aren't with her. My mom is even blaming my boyfriend, Michael, for me not spending all of my time with her.
You're not married to him. Michael's not your husband. You don't belong there every day. That's not your family.
My mom has me feeling guilty about doing anything without her in life. Anything. She's always leaving me the craziest voicemails.
You need to communicate and talk to your mother. Show a little concern, okay?
She texts me a billion times, and if I don't answer right away, then she'll punish me. She wants me to be married to my phone. I decided to turn off my cell phone. Now that I put my foot down, my mom's punishing me.
From this point on, Stephanie, I'm done paying for your car payment. You be responsible for yourself if you don't care about your mother.
She changed the locks because she didn't want me to come in after her 11 p.m. curfew. I'm 26 years old. Not 16, 26. So I've been sleeping in my car for the last few days. Living in my car absolutely sucks. All my life in my back seat, it's been just really, really scary. It's like humiliating. My mom makes me curse. She makes me yell. She makes me say really, really, really horrible things.
I don't care if you accept him or not. Back the out of my life. You're not even a mom to me anymore. You're a devil.
When I look at her, I don't see her as my mother anymore. I see her as a stranger walking down the street. The last time I saw her, I told her I wish she was dead. I've been driven to that point where I feel all these angry, hateful thoughts for my mother.
Well, Cheryl has a very different take and says the root of their dysfunction is clear. It's this old boy, Michael.
My daughter Stephanie is very disrespectful towards me, and she's completely shutting me out of her life ever since she's been dating Michael. Michael appears to be very nice and warm, but in reality, he's brainwashing Stephanie. As soon as she comes in the house, she will not even speak to me. Then I don't see her the next morning because she leaves at like 7:30 and goes to Michael's house. You should be coming home at 1 in the morning so I don't get to talk to you and sneak your ass out before I wake up. That is so disrespectful. Michael is isolating her and she's spending less and less time with her family. All she wants to do is make Michael happy, but she's making the wrong person happy. When I point this out to her, she curses at me.
You're delusional and you have to get your head checked.
Stephanie calls me all types of names. Psycho, delusional. If I say something that she doesn't want to hear, she's gone.
So you can get over it or back the off.
Stephanie bullies me. She said that she's not talking to me until I go to a psychologist. she thinks something's wrong with me. I had a great relationship with Stephanie until she started going out with Michael. I love my daughter and I don't want her to end up in the black hole that I feel that she's headed towards. I've been honored. I'm honored to be able to be here with you,
Well,
Dr. Phil.
I'm glad you're both here. It seems like you need to be.
Yes.
Why is this strife going on? You guys are yelling and screaming and cussing and threatening and all of that. Why are you doing
And
that?
I'm like your wife. I don't raise my voice to my children.
But you are yelling and screaming, right?
Yes, I have been. Yes.
So how's it working for you?
It's I've tried all strategies and I don't know what to
Well, how's
do.
this one working?
Absolutely not working.
Because I haven't stuck up for myself until recently. But I'm telling my mom that I'm not going to be married to my phone. I'm not going to deal with how she treats me.
Do you think she's going to find someone that's primary in her life instead of you? Or is it always going to be you?
No, I hope she finds somebody primary in her life so she can move forward with a healthy
Well, you
relationship.
don't sound that way because you're guilt-inducing her, and everything you say is designed to. If you loved your mother, if you wanted to care about your mother, it's all if you cared about your mother. You're managing her with guilt.
Well, I don't feel like I'm trying to guilt her. I'm trying to make her realize that she's absolutely turned herself inside out and has been brainwashed, because that's how it appears.
Is she managing you with guilt?
I feel guilty to be happy without her.
Well, I made a list of things that you've said, and here they are.
Okay.
I just want what's best for her. I take my role as a mother very seriously. I have a good relationship with her until this boy. Michael doesn't have a Jewish mother. He doesn't understand how I am. It just goes on and on.
Right, but it's not just me who feels that way about what's transpired in the last 18 months with Stephanie. It's every single person.
They're not
That
here.
makes me feel horrible because I feel like, oh, now I shouldn't go to family events because my entire family doesn't like me.
But you don't go to family events. You
And then at
stop.
the end of all this, you cap it off with you're a crappy daughter and you disgust me.
Oh, I didn't say that. I love
Oh,
my
you
daughter.
did. Yes, you did. I have it written down. Do you depend on her too much?
No, I
Are
don't.
you jealous of Michael?
I'm absolutely not jealous of Michael. Why would I be? Any good mother wants the best for their child, right? And they want to be able to communicate effectively, and they don't want their child to walk past them and pretend she's not sitting there. That's so
Well,
disrespectful.
you said she's a crappy daughter. Is he a crappy boyfriend?
Well, I believe in boys having jobs, taking girls out on dates, and paying for things, okay? That's what I believe in. So it all depends on how you look at it.
What about respect?
There's a little tape piece I want to see here. Let's take a look at this.
I had my first boyfriend I was absolutely in puppy love with. My mother thought that his family was anti-Semitic. So my mom got on the internet and pretended that she was another girl. She coaxed him into cheating on me, sending pictures. She'd send him sexy messages saying like, I love you, to try to lure him in. My boyfriend ended up falling for the entire thing. All the time, he had no idea it was my mother. She saw me crying for days, even after I caught her and told her about it. Then she was like, but I did you a favor.
So you were catfishing her boyfriend?
No, his
Mindy?
his
Who's Mindy?
the boy she was seeing. His mother and father were telling me that they didn't want her seeing him anymore.
So you pretended to be Mindy.
So, okay, but let me just tell
So
you.
he fell in love with you.
No.
Oh, she
no.
still talks. Like, she's like, oh, say hi to your ex
Never,
for me.
that's not true.
Like, oh.
Look, no one, that she didn't tell you, right? And she didn't also tell you that, besides for that, there's many, many things. She was in high school. She jumped out of cars. She went on
I
trains.
didn't. I never jumped out of a
11
car.
Yes, you
We
did.
just talked about in dialectical
Okay, well, y'all
behavioral.
decide what ammunition you want to use. We'll take
went
a
on-
break. We're going to meet the man who Cheryl says is brainwashing her daughter, and then they can shoot at each other, I guess. I don't know
wanna
what we're
really
going to do.
fight
We'll be
this.
right back.
I'm not here to fight.
Cheryl thinks that she's the one dating Stephanie. It's completely unacceptable.
I want you to keep in touch with me.
Cheryl is not a mother, she's a smother. Cheryl is like a parasite and sucks the life out of Stephanie.
And later,
She thinks that I'm brainwashing her and that I'm trying to take her away.
When you lived in my house for 5 months, I heard what you said to her.
How'd you hear
I
it?
put my ear right to the door. She was downstairs.
Stephanie says her mother was always overbearing, obsessive, and inappropriate, but now Cheryl blames her behavior on Stephanie's boyfriend, Michael. Michael says Cheryl never cut the cord, and now instead of a mother, she's turned into a smother. Take a look.
In the very beginning, Stephanie told me that her mother was a bit nutty, and to make sure that I was prepared for her being very invasive, I just thought, well, maybe she's just a little bit of an overbearing mother. Then I realized that Cheryl thinks that she's the one dating Stephanie, and that's where the problem comes in. It's completely unacceptable and unhealthy. Cheryl feels that she has to constantly be in control and involved with every aspect of Stephanie's life. Cheryl gets offended if she does anything without her. That includes any conversations with my family.
Michael's not your husband. You don't belong there every day. That's not your family.
Cheryl is not a mother, she's a smother. Cheryl leaves voicemail after voicemail.
Stephanie, I feel like I'm always trying to reach out to you. I want to have a relationship with my daughter.
It's like as if Cheryl doesn't have a life of her own, so she is like a parasite and sucks the life out of Stephanie.
I want you to keep in touch with me and be aware of the fact that you have a handicapped mother.
Cheryl has no regard for Stephanie's private time, and she hates the word boundary. If Stephanie is doing anything without Cheryl's knowledge, she finds it disgusting.
It's so disgusting what you do.
Cheryl feels threatened by me, and she tries to badmouth me all the time.
You, Stephanie, should not be the one paying for both of you.
She won't let Stephanie just be in the moment, be in love. I just want Stephanie to be happy.
Okay, Michael, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
He's a very nice boy. When I met him, very nice boy, very outgoing, great interpersonal skills. And then I saw all the alcohol that he's drinking while he's with her. Then they crashed my car.
Do you think he's a drunk?
I think he's an alcoholic, yes.
Yeah. And do you think that's dangerous?
I think it's extremely dangerous, and I'm worried about her all the time. As a result, that's part of it.
Do you have a drinking problem?
No, sir.
Good to hear. Do you think he has a drinking problem?
No, not anymore. I think he was abusing alcohol in the beginning of our relationship,
How long have y'all been seeing each other?
a little over a year and a half.
Is this a serious relationship?
Yes.
Very.
Do you plan to get married someday?
Absolutely.
Children?
Yes. That's
The whole
like
nine.
one of the main things.
Have you been married before?
No, sir.
You?
No,
Okay. So are you engaged?
no,
Has he asked you?
no.
What are you, chicken? I mean, no pressure. No pressure. Does this worry you in asking her?
Absolutely. This is,
Because you're marry your mother too, you think, huh?
yes. She told me from the very beginning, like the first week of us maybe dating, to watch out for her mom and to be aware that she might be very involved, very intrusive. And, you know, it's always different when you hear something than when you actually see it. And I began to see it pretty early on, and it's just progressively gotten worse. I don't want to feel like I'm dating you and her. I just want to feel like I'm dating her.
But
And
is his being involved here at your expense? Now, come on, let's be honest with each other. You can't, wait a minute, before you answer, you're a real smart lady, and you know a socially desirable answer, and then you know a real answer. If I ask you a question like that, the socially desirable answer is, oh, no, not at all. But the true answer might be, yeah, he kind of takes her away from me. I'm just curious what you really think.
I really think that 2 weeks after she came back from the city, she was going to go to NYU for social work. She moved out and went back and found an apartment to go to LIU for, a different, special ed. She met him from a friend, and within a week, maybe two the very most, he moved into her apartment, doesn't pay a penny. I didn't know about it. She stayed there till December. She had surgery, so I was constantly changing the sheets and wanting to make sure, right? I had to go see you every other day. That's when I found the alcohol. That's when I realized that he was in there without paying any rent. He wasn't on the lease. I don't hate him as a human being. I hate what he's doing to her. He has no job, and I feel like this is like not something any mother wants for their child.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay.
I want them to have a healthy relationship more than anything. I want that. And I don't think she believes that. She thinks that I'm brainwashing her and that I'm trying to take her away.
I'm very close with my mother, and I'd like her to have the same relationship with her.
You're not saying what really is going on. And he is acting like he wants us to have a great relationship, but that's not really what he's saying to you. When you lived in my house for 5 months, I heard what you said to her. You were, but I heard it was very negative. It wasn't positive.
How did you hear it?
What?
How'd you hear it?
I put my ear right to the door. She was downstairs. I'm going to be honest. Because I want to know what's going on there.
Right, and I'm paranoid to even live there because I'm thinking that she's hearing everything.
They were fighting. What does a mother do when they're when your
we
child
weren't
is
fighting?
I was hearing terrible fights, and I put my ear to the door. What is going on here? When you came back,
Wait, hold on. I thought we were talking about you. Now we were fighting.
You were also
No,
fighting.
now we're taking a break. Find out what Cheryl did to Stephanie to make her Valentine's Day anything but romantic, and why Cheryl blames Michael. We'll talk about that when we come back.
Michael was driving my car when we got into an accident.
She lied to the police and told them that she was the one driving.
I didn't want to see him go into jail for another alcohol-related issue.
I've been to several doctors, and they have told me that I am not an alcoholic.
On Valentine's Day, we had an explosive fight, the three of us.
Michael got very, very angry at me and actually raised his voice, which he never does. I realized that he didn't get her anything. There was no Hallmark card or no balloons. There was no perfume or roses.
Michael made me the most beautiful CD. I was so happy. It was the best Valentine's Day ever.
I felt like that was nice that he is singing love songs, but at least one rose from a gas station would have made me happy.
Now, these two women went head to head. Cheryl says she has some very valid concerns about Michael's bad influence on her daughter. But Stephanie and Michael say she's making a mountain out of a molehill. Take a look.
I think that Michael is an alcoholic. When I started addressing the alcohol situation with Stephanie, that's when Michael stopped talking to me.
You know it's bad for him to drink, so why do you do it? It's bad for anybody to drink.
My mom uses Michael's past alcohol abuse as a reason I shouldn't get upset with any horrible, disgusting things that she says about him.
Cheryl's biggest complaint is that I'm an alcoholic and that I've been in rehab before, which I have. I used to escape to drink. I've been to several doctors, and they have told me that I am not an alcoholic.
She'll tell me that alcoholism is an illness. He'll never recover from it.
Stephanie's putting herself in a bad situation dating an alcoholic. Michael crashed the car that I bought her last summer. Both of them went to a restaurant. Stephanie told him she was too drunk to drive, so he said, "I'm fine."
Michael was driving my car when we got into an accident.
She lied to the police and told them that she was the one driving.
I took the blame. I didn't want to see him go into jail for another alcohol-related issue.
So now I'm getting a call from the police, and I have to go pick her up at the police station. These are the reasons why I'm concerned about why she's not coming home at night. She absolutely could have met someone that had a job and wasn't an alcoholic.
Okay, now, can I go back to this Valentine's Day thing? You got mad at him because he didn't give her what you thought he should have.
I got mad at him because for all the holidays, she's buying him a lot of presents, all bows, the way we were all in our family, always giving and taking and everything with big things. And he doesn't buy one Hanukkah present. She has like 5. She takes him out to dinner. She's going, oh, a wonderful girlfriend. So what do you do for her? A tape and no presents for Hanukkah? It's like not giving Christmas presents. That's not appropriate to me. That's not nice.
Why are you talking to him? I asked you the question.
That's true.
Thank you.
Sorry.
But if he's a no good son of a bitch, then wouldn't you be glad that he's doing that? Because it might make her mad. She kick him out.
There's nothing that he's going to do that's going to make her kick him out.
How do you know?
Because I love him.
You're living in your car to be with him instead of...
It's for my own dignity, because I am also sticking up for not only my relationship with him, but for once in my life, I want to live my own life and not my mom's life. I have my own standards for Valentine's Day or any occasion or any day of my life. I have my own standards and not hers. And she, especially on Valentine's Day, wanted it to be about her and her standards.
Okay, well, tell me about yourself. Are you like a layabout, worthless mooch or something?
For the last year and a half, 2 years, I've been working with special needs students as a TA. Not the greatest paying job, but it's taught me a lot about myself, and I myself am in school right now as well. So she'd like me to work 40 hours a week or full time or be settled, but the truth is I'm a college student. I've had a lot of issues with academics because I suffer from a disorder known as body dysmorphic disorder, and that's part of the reason why I hid behind the escape of drinking. But I have been told by doctors that you're not an actual alcoholic, and I don't abuse alcohol anymore. I've been through a lot of things with her, without her, but the bottom line is I'd much rather be with her, and she won't accept me being a heavy booze drinker in a relationship with her. She wouldn't allow that.
You go to college?
Yes, sir.
Full time?
No.
Part time?
Yes.
How many hours?
10 hours a week of school.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and then you work.
And then I work on a part-time as well.
And the rest of the time you're brainwashing her.
Can't you tell?
What do you do for fun?
Fun?
It's that thing you do that makes you laugh.
I read. I watch Dr. Phil.
How you get along with your mother?
Very well.
How you get along with your dad?
Not great, but not great over the years, but much better now.
Okay.
Yes.
And so you suffer from body dysmorphia?
Yes, sir.
And what do you focus on in your body dysmorphia? Does it float around, or do you pick something?
It floats around. It floats around.
What's
started with acne, but then I went away, and just all sorts of things. It floats around, but it's not something. I went through CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. I'm on medication.
And when you two have disagreements, how do you express that? Do you yell and scream?
No.
What was she hearing when she had her ear to your door?
Well, if that happened in the beginning of our relationship, maybe we would have an argument, but there was very seldom because we have very
Do you yell and scream? Because I hear you telling your mother to go perform sex acts on herself.
She definitely brings out the worst in me. I am predisposed to have a temper problem because, I believe it's genetic in a way, and my father is like that.
Not me. My ex-husband. Not me. My ex-husband.
Do you have a husband now?
Yes.
And how do you get along with him?
Right.
Does he do what you tell him?
He gets me and I get him. So that's why we do what each other tells us, not just what I tell him. But I just want to say.
She is so verbally abusive to him.
What do you do for fun?
He was fun.
It's that thing you do that makes you laugh.
How can I?
No, what do you do for
Can I
fun?
make a comment about this? What you're asking?
You can answer my question. What do you do for fun?
I read. I watch Dr. Phil. I watched him for 15 years.
Yeah, okay.
A lot of Dr. Phil Ray and Oprah before you. And on Tuesdays you'd come in. So I love your wife.
Yeah.
Like you're looking back.
Yeah, there's Robin. Wave, Robin.
I think she's very nurturing, and she's making me out to be something that's not how I am.
Okay, so you read and watch Dr. Phil. What else do you do for fun?
And I dance.
You dance?
And I love to swim. And I'm going
What
to
about
try
the movies?
every Saturday I go to the movies.
Oh yeah. What do you two do for fun together? When
Well,
you're
we
not...
used to before she went out with him. We used to dance. Well, even she's a great teacher. Remember when it was Melissa's bar mitzvah? You told me I couldn't remember what I had to
We
say.
got our nails done
And we got
at times.
and we used to get her hair done together.
We used to go swimming.
All right.
And all the wonderful things.
Do you ever see them interacting in a healthy way?
Very rarely, very seldomly. I think that she's made a lot of effort in the past, not necessarily in the last month or so, but in the past, since I've known her and been in a relationship with her, to try to have a healthy standing relationship with her mother. And a lot of times Cheryl will say, oh, let's just start over, start from scratch. That's a very common phrase that she uses, start from scratch, start over, start anew. But it never really lasts very long before it goes right back down to the yelling and arguing.
Okay, so you're currently living in your car.
Yes, and at times I am living, which his parents don't know, in his room in their house, and I don't feel like that's respectful.
They know it now.
Yeah. Yes.
All right, what phrase does Stephanie use to describe her relationship with her mom that Cheryl hates? We'll talk about that when we come back.
When we do get married, Cheryl's gonna turn into a monster-in-law.
It's really devastating when you want to have a family with somebody and your mom is saying that this guy that you see as being a wonderful husband is going to be a bum, an alcoholic. It breaks my heart. I'm somebody that researches everything. I typed in mom, overbearing, daughter in relationship. I ended up finding something called emotional incest.
I thought it was really disgusting. Emotional incest doesn't apply to me.
It's when your parent tries to make you their husband or wife. And it's not in a sexual way, it's emotional way. You should feel guilty if you sway and are devoted to anyone else.
Cheryl wrote it off completely as being ludicrous and said that the author himself must have had some issues with his mother.
The person that wrote the book is absolutely wrong.
Well, that was Stephanie saying that her mother Cheryl's lack of boundaries is emotional incest. Cheryl says Stephanie could not be more wrong, and they had a great relationship until she met Michael, who she says is preying on her daughter. Take a look.
Michael and I have talked about marriage.
I think that Michael is using Stephanie, and he's also telling himself how much in love he is with her, but he can't move forward into the future with her.
I believe that when we do get married, Cheryl's gonna turn into a monster-in-law.
We have to make sure that everything's aligned before we have a family. We have to make sure for our future children.
She's living in a fantasy world with him.
Things would be even worse than they are now because Cheryl would really have to fight for her place. Having kids would be a total disaster if things continue the way they are now.
It's really devastating when you want to have a family with somebody and your mom is saying that this guy that you see as being a wonderful husband and a phenomenal father one day is going to be a bum, an alcoholic. It breaks my heart.
Okay, well, first off, this emotional incest, I don't know. I'm not much on labels. You're certainly getting in each other's way. If you could script me from this point forward in the show, what would you have me tell them?
When you're living in somebody else's house and you're sleeping there, you have to follow the boundaries in which they say to you. Okay, that's communicating while they're sitting on a couch if you're coming in and going down,
Right.
as opposed to acting like no one's sitting on the couch.
Okay, that's the first thing you'd have me tell them.
Communication is very, very important to
Okay.
me. Number two, just one text. I'll be home at 2, I'll be home at 3, just so I know and I don't wonder. But now she's not coming home at all, so.
Okay. So you want her to communicate with you when she's there and then check in when she's not.
One lunch date a month would have made me very happy. She's not doing any of it since she's known him.
All right, so that's 3. You'd want to go to lunch once a month.
And let me know where you're sleeping.
No, okay, now we got 4. You want to know where she's sleeping.
I want to know where
Okay.
she's sleeping.
in between.
And you say 3/4 of the time you're in his house. Now you're saying you're in the car?
Could you, when you come home, take a few minutes and sit down and chat with her?
Talking to her consists of her asking me a question, and then whatever answer I give is horrible.
Now, if you gave her those 4 things, we wrote those things down, and everybody signed those things, and you did those 4, and then she complained, she's going to look pretty silly in front of me.
I did that already.
No, I'm not asking about history. I'm asking about now. The past is over. The
Okay.
future hasn't happened yet. The only time is right now. Don't be a yeah, but person. I hate the yeah, but people. Say, do this. Yeah, but. Do this. Well, yeah, but. Hell, you got to be willing to try something.
Okay.
There maybe has to be boundaries. We don't talk about this relationship. We talk about other things. Relationships off limits for the first month. You talk about anything but the relationship.
I've watched you 15 years. I try this stuff a lot, but she always
There's
says,
that but again. All right, Cheryl
Mom.
thinks her daughter constantly picks the wrong men, and she has a theory as to why. We're going to talk about that when we come back.
My self-esteem my whole life has been horrible.
She was over 315 pounds in high school. That's where the low self-esteem comes from.
I didn't feel I deserved a happy or healthy relationship.
Because of that, she finds boys with broken wings and she wants to fix them.
This year is actually awesome for me. I lost over 150 pounds. I keep telling my mom that I have this phenomenal guy that I'm dating and to just be happy for me.
Stephanie admits she struggled with self-esteem throughout her life, but she says now she is learning how to be happy with help from Michael. Her mother feels threatened and is hell-bent on breaking them up. Now, do you think she really wants to break you guys up?
Yes. She literally says, I want you to find another man from the beginning and still over a year and a half later. That's very
what I
direct.
say. That's not true.
All right, Stephanie says she tried to go to therapy with Cheryl. Too many excuses why the therapist couldn't relate. He's not Jewish, not a mom, doesn't have a daughter. Take a look.
Stephanie has tried numerous times to work things out with her mother in order to have a healthy relationship. But it takes two people to make that happen.
My mom has the most ridiculous criteria to make sure that the therapist is credible enough. They have to have a PhD. They have to be a female. They have to be a mother. They have to have a daughter. They have to be Jewish. But my mom thinks Dr. Phil is the only person that could save and help us. She is completely obsessed with Dr. Phil.
I want Stephanie to meet a productive man, get married, and move out of my house.
Okay. Well, I'm not Jewish. I don't have a daughter. I'm not a mother.
But I agree with 98%. In 15 years, you have a good track record of everything you say.
Look, let me just leave it with you this way. Play the game.
Okay.
Don't be such a hardhead. Play the game. When you come in, take a few minutes, sit down and talk to what she calls your mother. When you go somewhere, text her and do the things that we talked about.
Thank you.
And we're out of time here, but I'm not done. Okay? I would agree to stay involved in this situation. I come to New York a lot because we shoot Bull in New York. You watch Bull?
No.
Bull is on CBS Tuesday nights at 9 o'clock. It's about my life before the Dr. Phil show. Do y'all watch Bull? Okay, there you go. It's about my life when I had a real job. So I'm in New York a lot. I'm going to come see you people.
Wow.
I may just drop in. You may look in the back seat of your car and there I am. Who knows? I will see you again and we'll work on this further. Cheryl says she likes Robin just as much as she does me. Well, Robin is coming up next when we meet a mom with a bizarre ritual that may be doing more harm than she realizes. We'll meet her next. All right. My next guest, Opal, wants to look her best and wow the crowd at an upcoming singing performance, as well as family and friends at her daughter's high school graduation. But is she sabotaging herself with a really unconventional and peculiar ritual that she's doing every day? I think so. Take a look.
I really like this one. Back in the day, I was very fun. I was hot stuff. I dabbled in modeling, and today, when I'm going through these stresses in life, it's definitely taking a toll on my skin. I started to notice lines and wrinkles on my forehead, around my mouth, and I have sagging under my eyes. So I created my own skincare regimen, which I use soap, rubbing alcohol, and olive oil. I just take it and pat it all over.
She's just slathering on there like she's a baked turkey.
I have two big events coming up. The first is my daughter Christine is graduating from high school. The other event is it's our big spring concert for the singing club that I'm president of. So when I see my family and friends, I want to have that Hollywood glam. And when I take the stage, I want to be flawless.
I have to say, that's unbelievable that you're using rubbing alcohol and olive oil and that harsh soap. Oh my gosh, it's scary.
Even I know better than that.
That's not good at all. And actually, Opal, you are the very reason that I partnered with Dr. Jessica Wu, a very highly acclaimed dermatologist, to launch my newest skincare line. Because each product was created with the highest level of active ingredients on the market, and none of them have a mixture of alcohol and olive oil.
How did you decide to put that on your face?
Well, to be honest, Dr. Phil and Robin, I had no idea what to do about my face. So I used the bar soap. It was convenient. And then the rubbing alcohol, like it would take all the dirt away. And then the olive oil was my moisturizer.
Yeah. So, Christine, what do you think of your mom's routine?
I think it's ridiculous. Even I know not to use those things on my face. Please help my mom.
Okay, so Opal, you are going to love what I have created in your honor. It's the SOS Ultimate Cleansing Trio. So I think it's time to save Opal's skin. SOS. So this trio includes Foaming Joy, a sulfate-free and a potent antioxidant to gently, very gently cleanse while leaving your skin very smooth, soft, and ready for the day.
I have to interrupt for a moment here. I'm so proud to tell you, not only do women everywhere love Robin's Foaming Joy, but it was recently named Oprah Magazine's 2017 Spring Beauty Award winner, which is huge.
And I am so happy and so proud that Foaming Joy had actually won the award, and I could not stop jumping for joy. So Opal, next in your cleansing routine, you are going to need an exfoliating scrub. I actually have two in my line, Polish to Perfection and Twinkle Twinkle, You're a Star. For you, I recommend using Polish to Perfection. It is gentle enough to be used every night, which is exactly what you need after using all that alcohol on your skin. Yes. And finally, because your skin could use a lot of tender loving care, you need to finish with a revitalizing serum. And I call it, face it, you look amazing. And it's a lightweight serum to hydrate your skin and to improve the look of fine lines and wrinkles.
Oh, nice.
So Opal, promise me no more harsh bar of soap, rubbing alcohol, or olive oil on your face.
I promise.
Yay.